Okay. Christ-centered yoga. For this morning, thank you for coming. And this morning, our theme is, in dealing with anxiety, the idea of trusting that God has got it. And so we don't have to hold all of it. So I'm going to read our passage. This is what we'll meditate on at the end of the class with a lectio divina, but I'm going to read it right now so that you can kind of have it in your mind throughout. It says, this is Matthew chapter 6, verse 25 through 34. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more important than food, and the body more important than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the lilies of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. So keeping that in mind, I have a breath prayer for us, but let's find our way onto our mat, sitting in easy pose instead of child's pose. So you might even want to use a block to sit. You can either sit on it. I find it easier to just sort of sit up tall that way. If you're up a little bit on a block. Another way to use your block would be to set it between your sit bones and sit on your knees with your hands on your thighs. Whatever feels comfortable to you. We're just going to sit here for just a moment, connect with our breath, connect with the idea of leaning into trusting that God has got us. So once you find your easy pose, sitting up nice and tall, starting to breathe, filling in those entire lungs, the chest, the belly, and then exhaling everything out all the way till there's no more breath. And then we inhale again. And slowly we find ourselves starting to calm down, settle down into this place on this mat for just an hour. To use our bodies to focus on this idea that God has got it. We don't need to be anxious about anything because he sees what's happening and he'll meet our needs as he sees fit. Our breath prayer is one of the things that Jesus said on the cross, which is, into your hands, I commit my spirit. So for me, it's going to be more into your hands on the inhale, I commit myself on the exhale. I need it to be just a little more personal as opposed to like scriptural in all that formality. So throughout this class, as we think about into your hands, into your capable, good hands, I put myself, I commit myself, I let myself be there, I let you take care of it. And so with each breath, you can kind of use that as a breath prayer. So sitting here, we'll just take 2 more breaths and then we'll move into our practice. Let's make our way into tabletop. So having a flat back with our knees directly below our hips, our wrists directly below our shoulders. Let's do it just a couple of cat-cows. Nice and easy, dropping our belly, lifting our heart, lifting our tailbone. And then exhale as you pull your belly button to the spine. Feel that first good stretch in your shoulders and your hips. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. One more. And coming back into tabletop, let's go ahead and take our left foot back and our right arm forward. And this is a perfect spot, making sure our hips are balanced. This is the first time we engage these abs here. If you'd like some more, you can go ahead and take that leg up, really reaching long, long, long behind you and long, long, long in front of you. Not sinking into this bottom shoulder, but pushing out of the ground. And bringing that hand and foot to the floor. We'll take a little switcheroo. So right leg comes out behind us. Left arm reaches in front of us. And if you'd like some more, once everything is balanced, lift up that back leg. And releasing. Let's do that a little bit, maybe quicker, right? So we'll take our left leg back, reach and lift, and replace. Right leg back, reach, lift, and replace. One more on each side. Left foot, right arm, and right foot, right arm. Nice. Let's curl our toes under, and we'll push into our first down dog of the day. Taking our hips to the sky, dropping our heels into the ground. We can pedal out our feet to find some letting go in our hips. And stretching through those arms, through those lats. Really pressing into the ground and reaching back with your hips to stretch out this whole side of your body. And on our next breath, let's walk our feet up to our hands. Feet can be hip width apart, and we'll just hang forward in ragdoll. So you can bend your knees even a little bit. Keep moving those hips, loosen things up. Finding our breath. And let's inhale, flat back, pressing back against our shins, pulling the belly button to the spine, long, long, long spine behind us. And exhale, forward fold. And let's do that again. And as we start flowing, we can think into your hands. Exhale, I commit myself. Inhale into your hands. Exhale, I commit myself. Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale. This time, let's inhale the flat back all the way up to standing. Reaching high, feeling a long body from fingers all the way down to toes. And then we'll sink into chair. So taking the booty back, feet are hip width apart. And we'll inhale up. And we'll exhale to chair. Really connecting with our breath and that breath prayer. Into your hands as you reach for the heavens. Into chair. I commit myself. In. And exhale. One more. In. And exhale. Let's take a first twist of the day. So you'll take your twisting to the left. We're going to take our right elbow as close to your right knee as you can. You can even hook it on the outside and find a little twist, nice and gentle twist. We're just at the beginning of class. This class is gentler in general because it's more meditative and devotional in nature. We're just using our bodies to express that. And coming up to mountain. And exhale into chair. And this time we'll take a twist to our right, taking the left elbow toward the left, or toward the right knee, hooking it on the outside if you can. You can also just be here, right? Just like this, the twist is gentle. It doesn't need to be stressful. And this time let's forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to down dog. Really finding that stretch for me today. I'm feeling it so much here in my lats and my armpits as I'm pulling my armpits to the center line of my body. It's a really good stretch today. Inhale, coming forward to plank. Let's find our plank position for just a minute. Really spread those shoulder blades out. Pull the belly button in, keeping everything long. Firing up the core just a little. And we'll take our knees to the ground. Spinning the insides of our elbows forward. We're going to bend our elbows. Our elbows stay attached to our body, all the way down to our belly button. Flipping the feet, tops of the feet onto the floor. And then opening that chest in front of us, engaging those back muscles. And we'll exhale through, tabletop into down dog. Connecting with our breath here. And then walking our feet up to our hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do a sun salutation 2 more times. If a chaturanga on your toes and an up dog on your toes is in your practice, go for it. Otherwise, continue coming with me on our knees. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, coming forward to plank. On your knees or your toes, exhale to the floor. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, down dog. One deep breath here. On our inhale, we come up high on our toes. On our exhale, we bend our knees deeply. And at the bottom of our exhale, we walk, step, or jump our feet up to our hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms to the sky with a flat, flat back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhaling up tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Knees or toes. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, down dog. One breath here. Inhale up to our toes. Exhale all of our breath out and taking our feet up to our hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up to the sky and exhale, hands to heart center, taking our feet hip width apart. Let's find our Tadasana. The whole foot is anchored to the floor. Kneecaps are lifted. Belly is pulled in and up. which kind of relaxes this low back, right? Rib cage is lifted, shoulder blades are down, hands at heart center. Shoulders are anchoring down so that your neck is long. And we remind ourselves, I don't need to be anxious for anything today. God has got it. He's clothed everything. He's provided everything. He sees it all. I do not need to hold this. And we inhale into your hands. Oh, I commit myself. Inhale the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog. Let's take our knee to our nose, pulling it forward, right knee, and press back to down dog. Let's take the left knee to our nose, and back to down dog. And right knee. Inhale to down dog, exhale it out. One more on each leg. Nice work. Taking our right foot, our right knee to our nose, and then placing that foot in between our hands. I find it helps if you really pull it into your nose before you try and pull it forward, otherwise it gets stuck. For instance, if we're just here and we're trying to pull our foot forward, it's just stuck on the ground, right? But if we pull it up to our nose first, it gives you a little more leverage to get your foot up. Let's drop our back knee to the floor. Really creating a long line from your head all the way to your toe. And let's even come up on our knee. And we'll take that twist again. It's a little harder in this position. So we'll just take our right hand to our right hip, left hand on the outside of our right knee, and twist that way. I find it easier too if I turn my hand to the outside of my knee, with the palm of my hand. Helps me open my shoulder, my collarbones a little bit better. And taking both hands to the floor, curling the back toes under. Let's come up into a pyramid. So pull the back foot in a little bit so that your legs can be straight. And then we find wherever our hamstring and our hips are happy with this. But the goal is both legs are straight, even if you're real high and you kind of lower over time. You have a block. This is an awesome place to have a block. We're going to do one more twist while we're here. So I've got my block on the medium spot. We're going to twist toward this front leg. You can take your right hand to your right hip and then press into the ground to open your shoulder blades, open your shoulders, your chest to that right side. It's a great IT band stretch, the outside of your right leg. And we'll release. Let's go ahead and take our left leg up to meet our right. Hang in forward fold for just a moment. And then we inhale up to the sky. Exhale to heart center. And remind ourselves what we're here for. Inhale, arms up to the sky. This time, open your arms into cactus, shining the heart to the sky. Oh, yes. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to down dog. This time we take our left knee to our nose first, and then we pull it in between our hands. Oh my, dropping our back knee to the floor, turning the top of my foot down. Feel that deep, deep, awesome stretch in that right hip flexor, opening things up. And from there we come up, knee is still down on the ground, taking our left hand to our left hip, our right hand outside of our knee as best we can. I'm pulling my left shoulder down, pulling my right shoulder back, and using my leverage here to help me twist, as opposed to reaching this way. Pull both shoulders down and back, and let your body do the twisting. And we release to the floor, curling the back toes under. We're going to come up into a pyramid, so pulling the back foot in and maybe out to the side a little bit so that you have a little more stability in the stance. Wherever you are is perfect. Hips are facing the front. Coming to here, coming down as far as you can. For a gorgeous stretch in that left hamstring. And then using a block or whatever, if you don't have a block, that's totally fine too. Right hand on the block. We twist toward the left side. Left hand is on the left hip. If you'd like more, you can take your arm up. Just release into the stretch. Don't hold anything, just release into it. Both hands come to the floor. Let's push to down dog. And let's take a chaturanga as we transition. Coming forward to plank, knees or toes, just like we did before. Chaturanga, up dog or cobra. And down dog. This time we're going to take our right leg to the sky, bring that knee to your nose, and then place the foot in front of you. Rolling the back heel down, we're going to cartwheel up to warrior two. So your front toes, your right toes are facing the top of your mat, left toes are facing the long edge of your mat. If you find yourself here, roll the rib cage back, right over your hips, shining light right down into your hips. Strong left leg, energy coming all the way down the outside of your leg, and then you sink into that. Let's come into a right angle, or side angle. So your right elbow comes to your right knee, left arm comes to the sky. If you would like some more, you can put your hand down, or if you have a block, this is a really awesome way to use this prop right here. From here, we're going to just straighten that front leg into triangle. Best you can. You probably need to come up higher. But the key is to have 2 glass panes on either side of your body. So it doesn't make sense to come forward like this, right? Come up to where you can have your shoulders stacked, belly buttons pulled in so the booty is not going back. Nice and tall. And from here, let's take our arms straight up and a reverse triangle. This is not a twisted triangle, it's just reverse. So it's like reverse warrior, but your leg is straight. Really reaching tall, long stretch in this right side of our body. Breathing in and breathing out. Coming back through warrior two, let's cartwheel our hands to the floor and come to down dog. Take a good solid breath into your hands. Your capable hands. I commit myself and my family and my job and our country and all the things. I do not need to hold those. Bringing your left knee to your nose. Actually, let's take that up to the sky. I think we did first. And then bringing that knee to your nose and pulling it between your hands. Wrapping the left heel down, coming up into warrior two. Nice, solid sink right into the middle of your body. Your center line is solid right here. And then we pull our arms out, even as we pull our shoulder blades together. Opposite directions. And moving into side angle, we'll take our left elbow to our left knee, right arm to the top, to the sky, pulling both shoulders back and down. Again, you can use your block if you want to reach more from the floor. And then we'll straighten that front leg up into triangle. Again, your block is a beautiful resource for this. And then if you need to bend your knees slightly, that's fine. Coming up into reverse triangle. And breathe. Pull everything in. Pull the belly button in. Pull the booty in. Get tall, get tall, get tall. And coming through warrior two, let's cartwheel to the floor. Moving your block out of the way. Down dog. Let's take a breath here. And the vinyasa. Exhale. We'll meet in down dog. Inhale up high to our toes. Exhale nice and deep. At the bottom of our exhale, we walk, step, or jump our feet to our hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, arms to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Nice work. So I'm going to face the long side of, well, everybody should face the long side of your mat. We're going to do a little straddle stretch here. So let's go ahead and inhale our arms up to the sky. Turning our toes out, let's sink into what is called goddess. So your knees are coming out, belly button is in, booty is tucked, everything is lifted. Inhale up. And exhale. Inhale up. And exhale. Inhale up. This time, let's face our toes toward the front of the room and flat back over to a straddle stretch. You can take your peace fingers around your big toes and take your elbows out to the side in order to get a little more leverage. Breathing. Taking our hands to the floor, let's heel toe our feet in a little bit so they're a little bit bigger than hip width apart. And we're gonna sink down into Malasana. I'm trying to do this like every day for a little bit, just to like crack those hips open and just help them to release all the stuff that they hold on to. Holding a chair is awesome. Sitting high on your block like this is awesome. And then you eventually get lower. Woo! It's a great way to support so that it doesn't like obviously kill your knees. You want your knees and your toes facing the same direction. Sometimes just that deep knee bend is hard. It's definitely for opening the hips up. And then we'll take our hands to the floor, turn our toes forward. And this time we'll take our palms and stick them on the bottom of our feet, getting a really nice stretch through our wrists. You can even like massage your wrists with your toes. I know it's kind of gross, but we'll be okay. Taking the tailbone to the sky. Imagine pointing your tailbone to the sky just a little bit more. And releasing the hands. And with a flat back, coming up to standing. Nice job. Let's work our way down to the ground. So we're gonna do a little pigeon stretch. Yay. Inhale the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog. And you're gonna bring your right knee toward your right wrist onto the floor into half pigeon. And then I like to walk my back foot back until I feel a really great stretch in my right hip. The goal is not to have your shin coming parallel to the top of the mat. It just depends on what your hips will do. But sometimes people will find if they take their leg out a little bit more, it's a different kind of stretch. As long as it doesn't hurt, find your spot. And if you're comfortable here, you're welcome to come down to the ground. You can stack your fists and lay your forehead on your wrists. Again, we're just contemplating into your hands. I commit myself and all the things. Can you feel yourself release just a little bit more? What are you holding? Release it in your body. And coming back up, we'll press back to down dog, nice and slow, gentle. Just open up that leg back up. And then we bring our left knee to our left wrist. Scooch our right foot back. Yes. And once you've found comfort, uncomfortable comfort, come forward if you have that space available to you. Again, you can stack your fists and lay your head on them if you want. And continually think into your hands, I commit myself. And as you exhale, release your body. You'll find that every time you're probably holding on to something, whether it's in your hamstring or your hip or your shoulders, release it. Release. And gently coming back up, we'll press rested down dog. Yes. And from here, let's come forward into plank, and we'll lower ourselves all the way to our belly for a quick little locust. Hands are facing the floor. Feet are flat on the floor behind you, and we reach for our feet, which pulls up our chest. And if you'd like more, you use your glutes, not your low back, to lift up your legs and take flight. And release to the floor, wiggle out the hips. We'll do that one more time. And as we inhale, we lift that chest, those feet. And as we release, let's press back into child's pose. Let's swing our legs around in front of us for some seated poses. Start with our feet out in front of us. We'll take our arms to the sky. We'll exhale, forward fold. Your back can be flat or rounded. Either way is fine. If you reach your feet easily, you can always put your block on the end of your feet and use that as a further leverage to reach for. Again, as you exhale, release your body. Release, release. Practice releasing. And just gently coming back up. We'll do a little boat because we have to work those abs, work that back. Straight, straight back. Chest has the string pulling you up. Find where you're uncomfortable, where your abs are working, your back is working. Push yourself to your limit without being too stressed. And focus on your mantra, into your hands, I commit myself, as a place to go with your mind. In the middle of the hard thing, we go to what we know is true, whether we believe it or not. God has got us in this hard space. And we'll exhale into a butterfly with the soles of our feet together. Knees out to the side and a big exhale. And then let's roll down onto our back. And since we're in work mode, let's do a couple of bridge poses. Hands are anchored to the ground, shoulder blades are down. You can even wrap them underneath you. And you start with your hamstrings and your glutes and your back, and that's what takes you up. Think about anchoring your entire foot on the floor. And exhale. I think that the landscapers are here on a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday because of the holiday. We're gonna go inside real quick. Stay released, stay relaxed on your back. Breathe your mantra. Hang tight. Okay, awesome. Let's do one more bridge pose. Pressing up through our feet. Our feet are solid in God's promise to take care of our needs. Press down into the ground too. Feel that groundedness. And with your hands, press down into through your shoulders. And release. Bring the knees into your chest. Let's even come into happy baby. We'll take our peace fingers around our big toes. If you'd like to, you can even take your legs out straight if that stretch feels good, if it's available to you. And then let's release. Let's take one more twist while we're down here. We've done a lot of twisting today, which feels nice. So pulling the right knee into our chest, giving it a nice hug, and then taking that knee across the body into a twist, taking the right arm out to the side and taking a gaze at your right arm, right hand. And inhale as we come out of that twist and switching legs. Take our left leg across our body this time. Taking a gaze at our left arm. And gently coming out of that, releasing both feet to the floor. We're going to find, for the last 10 minutes of class, we're going to do our lectio divina. So you can do this in Shavasana. If you want to be in Shavasana, your legs are just out. If you can pull your feet together and let your knees splay out to the side. You can have your feet up the wall like we've done before, or we'll just find our easy pose like we did at the beginning of class. And since my booster's outside, I'm going to sit on our foam roller. And because I'm married to a pastor, I left my Bible outside, but there's another Bible right there. So, okay, let's find our Matthew chapter 6. I'm just going to read it. I'm going to read it 3 times. Each time we'll have a different focus. The goal of yoga is to unite yourself and then yourself with God in this context. So we move and we breathe and we do a breath prayer so that we can calm our heart and our mind and our body down so that we can hear that soft, still whisper of God. So we'll read our verses again. And this time, just listen to it. You don't need to do anything with it. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. And yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. So we'll just let that sink in for about 30 seconds and then I'll read it again. And this time as I read it, let's go ahead and think about, try and notice if there's a phrase or a word or something that like shimmers for you, that sticks out to you, that you might be able to meditate on for just a moment. It could be something you are expecting. It could be something you're totally not expecting. So just let it be whatever calls out to you. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body or what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow? They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grasses of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. So we'll spend about a minute just thinking about what shined for you, what called out to you to think about for a minute. And as I read it one last time, think about, is there an invitation in this for me? Is there something that God is kind of putting on your plate for you to consider and take with you? Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given unto you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. What is God's invitation to you in there? What is he maybe putting on your plate to allow you to think about? as you think about that, let's just, we're just going to lay here for one more minute and just let this practice soak into our bodies. This, we've practiced breathing in the truth of into your hands. I commit myself. That is true. We can do that. We rarely do that. We're just going to let that sink into our body and let it do its physical work in us. Maybe it will stay with us. And now we can start coming back to our breath, wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe a big cat stretch up and over your head as you roll onto the side. And then eventually make your way up to a seated position. And we'll finish our practice. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully that little time of devotion and moving our body will bring our hearts and our minds and our bodies together to believe that we actually don't need to carry all the anxieties of our world, that God has got them. So thank you for joining me. I will see you next week. Namaste.